Hey, how are you doing? It's Laurel with the Dabbling Hook. And, ooh, just realized my hands are very dry. Anyway, how are you guys? It is Friday the 6th of June already. I don't know why it always feels like it's speeding along. It's 5:32. It's the end of the day, TGIF. And I am winding it up, white simple, because I'm looking at myself and not you in the camera. I have my second spring craft fair tomorrow, and the weather is absolutely miserable. It was, I think we got up to 90 degrees yesterday, and then the sun went away, and today it's just been depressingly gray. And we've had a little bit of sprinkle, but tomorrow is supposed to be 20 to 25% chance of rain all day long. Last year when I did this fair, it was a nice day, but we did have a little pocket where it was supposed to rain, and it did just sprinkle a little. Well, this time it's all day. There's no sun at all on the weather map. And I've been looking forward to this one because the last one in May could have been better. It was good, but it could have been better, especially given where they changed my normal spot. So I have a lot of stuff, and I've been making a lot of stuff, you know, stress making. But I said last time that I didn't know which was worse. Oh, of course I've got fluff in my eye. Wind or rain, because it was supposed to rain, but we got a boat ton of wind, and then the rain was towards the end, or at the end when I was done packing. This time it looks like it's gonna happen, which is a bummer because I wanted it to be a nice day and I wanted to sell some cute stuff, and it's gonna rain and I don't want to get soaked. And right now, right at the end time of the craft fair is when the percentage of expected rain goes up double. So who knows? I just finished packing up my car, so we'll see. I'm bummed. Given everything else, I'm just bummed. Anyway, I'm still making, like I said, and I have just a few things. Good 3 minutes already. Just a few things. I'm pretty sure I showed all the other turtles I made in the last clip of the last episode. So just a handful of things because I haven't had a lot of opportunity to make this week. But I did make spider. It's a jumping spider, I think it's called. And I saw this on 2 or 3 people's videos, but I only remember Crafty Kate for whatever reason. I'm not subscribed, but it's always in my feed, so I'm always watching. I should just subscribe, huh? That's dumb. I don't know why. I do that a lot because I watch so many videos, or I used to, and because of the types of videos I watch, there was always recommendation in my feed, so I was never at a loss of what to watch. But yeah, hers pops up a lot. Anyway, jumping spider. Who's it by? I bought it off Etsy. I keep forgetting to check not Instagram, Ravelry, because I'd rather it be on Ravelry because then it's in my database and I don't have to worry right away about downloading it, even though I do, and I still download and save because you never know when a pattern's gonna go away. But I prefer it on Ravelry because you can get updates on Ravelry, you can't on Etsy. I'm prattling because I'm bummed. I'm gonna have another sip. It's spring, so you never know what you're gonna get, but I'm still bummed that the weather is not gonna be spring-like. Or maybe that is spring-like, but there's gonna be no sun and it's rain. Anyway, so I've made 3, and it's a pretty easy pattern, and the only thing you have to sew on is the body to the head, which is not bad at all. But the first time I made it, I read a part of the pattern where it said, I I forget what it said, but when I read it, I'm like, huh? Basically, I ended up, oh look, I just realized it's way crooked. I put the ears, no ears on the spider. I put the eyes on the wrong place. I put it on the underside instead of the above. Anyway, that was just me thinking not following the pattern and thinking I knew better. But anyway, it still looks okay, but it does give it an odd look. But yeah, this is the jumping spider. One of the things when it said to put the eyes, I was looking at the photo and these look like they were curved down, but the whole time they were like curved up. I'm like, that doesn't look right. But I went along and of course I read something wrong or I misinterpreted something. But you do need 4 eyes, 2 larger ones, 2 smaller ones. Oh, the light just changed. I thought there was something wrong with the camera. But anyway, this is that moss color that I like in the Bernat blanket. And this is just some scrap yarn of something or other that I had for the pincers, the stingers, whatever they're called. The fangs. But yeah, the only thing you have to sew on is you make this. This is all made in one. Even this, it's all one piece. And then you make this and then you sew it on. So not bad at all. So this is what it looks like. It still looks like a spider, right? You see it, you see a spider. But what it's supposed to look like is that. See how the head looks? When I was making it, it did say, that's the piece, it said it was making it bottom up and bottom up. And just in my mind, I just misinterpreted. So anyway, still bottom up, but usually where you end is kind of like the bottom or the back, but it's the top basically. So I interpreted it wrong. I read it wrong. See, there we go again. So as you can tell, see, because the bottom is flatter and this is where I put the first eye. So that's what it's supposed to be. I just used some of the moss to do the fangs. But yeah, it just makes it unique because no two are alike, right? No two things are exactly alike. Even identical twins still have different things, but I digress. So, and now you can see the legs are curved down as they should rather than up. Oh, I hear ticking. Rain? Not yet. I'm just wishing it would rain overnight and then that'd be it. But positive thoughts. So yeah, that's that. I had leftovers because it's a two-tone of the sloths that I made. This is the dark gray and slightly darker than it showed up on camera, and this is the dark taupe or just taupe. So that's that. So leftovers, even small amounts of scraps, you can get that out of it. So, and I still, I think, have just little bits of it left. And then I what did I do? I made an octo and I had some left, so I ended up, you'll see the octo in a second, but I made this one. So this is the Dollar Tree yarn in hibiscus and pink together. And I have a bit of Dollar Tree yarn that I wanted to put together, but I don't like the way this looks. But this one, this part shows more of the white, over here shows more of the pink, but yeah, I don't like these two together. But it's done. And then what did I do? I used the same one that I used for the first one to make the fangs. I used that as well. Oh yeah, really quick project, and it just took me forever just to tell you all that. Then the octo, I had made that because I mentioned last time that I hadn't made octos yet, or a lot of them. I made a jumbo one, but I really hadn't made my standard size one. So yeah, I just made that one, put the yarns together, gave it flour. Yeah, there's that. And then there's two more things. This is a free pattern off of Instagram. It's dragon, I don't remember. It's like a snuggly dragon, kind of like a Diddy Dex, but a little very similar, but obviously some things are a little different. But I like it. I like the neck. It's different. DD Dex is, you know, ooh, even that's not bad. But I like the neck. Kind of give me seahorse vibes. But, and then this is a little longer. It's a smaller, skinnier little dragon. When I was doing the body, it looked so small that I added an extra increase. But I didn't need to because the head is a pretty small head. This is Bernat baby blanket dappled in whatever the blue colorway is. I didn't get through a lot of the colorway. There's a lighter blue that it comes in, and the ears are done a little differently, and I don't mind it. It's like, you know, when it gets angry or excited, it can flare it out. I embroidered the eyes, of course. Try to make it as baby safe. I do like the safety eye look on some of them, but I'm trying to make them baby safe. And then this is that Timu-ish yarn that you can get on Amazon. So I used it for, this is a pink and gray one I used for the, horn spikes, the spikes. And then for the wings and the ears, I used the same one I used for the spiders. For the fangs, I used it. So this is like grays, and then this is pink and grays. So very subtle difference, but I really like that. I like the floppiness of the neck. It'll make it great and easy for little hands to be able to grab it and move along. The tail. Oh, and this one has frills on the side. Again, it's a free pattern on Instagram. So I will definitely be doing another one. Obviously not before tomorrow, but between this and DD Dex, I think these will be staples. The one thing, DD Dex has the 4 legs. This one just has 2. But you can easily just make a couple others. I was thinking of doing that, and maybe even a little shorter, and just add extra legs, but it doesn't come with extra legs, so I like it. I like it a lot. Who says that? I think Z says that. Hey Z, I like it a lot. Okay. Last one. Oh, I need to remind myself, remember, next clip hopefully, to push back. My last video when I was editing, I realized that it looks really close up. Even though I'm not really that close, I mean, it's on the table like right here, and I'm over here, but in editing, it's really close looking, so. Anywho, a little behind the scenes. This next one, I mentioned I wanted to make another elephant. I did the Madeline May Co. one in that blue variegated yarn, and that was Bernat blanket, and this is plush. Ooh, did you guys read? By the time this comes out, obviously you would have seen it, but we've all been going under the premise that Hirschner's was getting the Big Twist yarn, and I kind of knew, and I think somebody else had mentioned it too, that I was wondering, like, would they have all or most of the types of Big Twist? And in my back of my mind, I was thinking, I bet it's going to be the way, like, Bernat blanket you can get anywhere, but there's certain colors that were exclusive to Joann's. Michael's only had certain colors, and I was wondering if that's how it was going to be. But the news came out yesterday that Michael's has purchased the intellectual property rights to the Big Twist line, basically. I think it's all the Big Twist, and some of their fabrics, Joann's fabrics, and other stuff. So I was at my Michael's yesterday, and I noticed that in their clearance section, they kind of changed it a little. It was more jumbled up, but I think they bought some of the leftover stuff from Joann's. Like, when they were clearing out their warehouses, they were bringing all kinds of stuff, like household things and such, like kitchen utensils, and I noticed a bunch of that at Michael's, and I bet they bought some of that. Yeah, just a sidebar that Michael's now has the Joann's. They've been carrying fabric for about a year now, at least in mine, a year and a half, and now they're going to expand with more fabric. So we'll see. And I've got 2 Michael's, one maybe 5 minutes drive from me, and the other one is about 15 minutes drive from me. So I have 2 of them within 15 minutes drive, opposite directions from me, and then my local one is 5 to 7 minutes drive, so I'm covered. But I don't know where that all went, but how I digressed. But yeah, Michael's is getting Joann stuff. I did notice though, I was in the app, not yesterday, it was a couple of days before that, and I noticed they had a Joann's customer section, and I didn't pay much mind to it. I assumed it was just them talking about now that Joann's gone, you know, we're here kind of thing, but who knew that all that was in the works. But long digression to say that I made another elephant, and this one is not the Madame Mako. This is did I buy that Toy Story AU kind maker? It's something I bought. It's one that I bought off Etsy. I never remember who exactly, but it'll be in the link somewhere. But all this to say, I used Big Twist plush in, I don't even know, Tutti Frutti, was it the colorway? I don't remember, but it's very pastel-y, Eastery, variegated colored yarn with oranges and greens and yellows and purples, very Eastery pastel colors. So the pattern for the elephant is just a regular amigurumi with stuffing, and I decided to make it into a snuggler without stuffing it. Obviously I crocheted in everything as I went, opposed to the pattern has you sewing on the legs and arms and stuff, so I just lined it up and crocheted in as I went. The trunk is you leave a gap and then you pick up after and you do the trunk. So, and I've made this once before, and like I said, all the elephants, the big elephants I've made have sold, but lucky. I'm gonna do it this again as a lovey, but I'm going to put the legs in the front instead of off to the sides. I'll leave the arms where they are, but I want the legs to be in the front. So there's that. There's the colorway, and like I said, it's the end of the day, there's no sun, it's gloomy, so it may be distorted colors, but yeah. And then I embroidered eyes, totally baby safe. I gotta remember, I think I want the ears just maybe 1 row down next time, but yeah, all baby safe. All good, not bad. Oh, and I literally used, did it have a tail? I don't remember. I don't think it had a tail in the pattern, but I had a tiny amount, like literally this was the entire skein of the Big Twist plush. And did it have a tail? I don't know. I think it might have, and I just made it shorter because I think I added a round or 2 on the body when I don't think I really needed to, but I did. I think I added like 2 or 3 extra rounds on the body, and if it wasn't the case, if I hadn't done that, I would have had more than enough to do whatever the tail was, but I just attached to a chain, tied a knot at the end, and c'est la vie. So what did I use? I think I used a 6.5 millimeter hook. Did I? Or was it a 6? I think I used a 6.5 millimeter hook for this. But yeah, quite pleased. And a full skein, completely gone. So I think I have 2 more skeins of Big Twist plush One in like an aqua color and one in something else, but all good. So 20 minutes of me moaning about the weather and whatnot. I'm so bummed. It's so dark already, and it's just 5:52. Yeah. Even though I would have been exhausted at the end, I was really looking forward to, yeah, doing that craft fair tomorrow. And not be wet and miserable. Because it's a rain or shine, and yeah, it depends. I may end up packing up early if I see that the weather is not gonna get any better, because I don't want it to start pouring right when I'm supposed to be packing up. That will be miserable. But I have my tent sides and all that, so we'll see. And on that note, I may make this a solo video, or I may add more after. I'll just wait till it's tomorrow. I'll wait, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Bye. I'm back real quick. I'm planning to finish this for tonight. I have a bunch of all the stuff I've been making that I've shown. I haven't tagged all of them, so I'm doing that and bagging them. But I'm working on that fox by Annie Caraway Arts, and this will be my second one. I've got the head finished. I am almost done with the body. Well, no, I'm on the decrease of the body before I add the hind legs, and then I have to do the tail. But I just wanted to show you the head, and I made up my mind that I am going to buy all those basics, Premier Basics tie-dye. That's only on Premier. It's not on like Hirschner's or anything. There are 11 colorways, and I was watching Crafty Kate, and she's making ditty decks out of each of the colors, and I love the colors, some of them especially. So I'm gonna treat myself for my bummy my bummy attitude right now. I need that. Even though I just got my latest order from Mary Maxim, which did I need? No, but it was on clearance. All right, it was on clearance. Just work with me. Even though my floor is just, it's still in the box because I'm not opening it, because there's nowhere to put it if I open it, so I'm leaving it in the box for now. But it is so cute. Some reason the eyebrows look a little closer than they were last time, but I'm following along with her. So it's so adorable. It's got oh, it's not gonna focus. Hand painted eyes. I know the poor lighting is making it not the best, but yeah, too much reflection. But hand painted eyes, that goes very well with the color orange. I forget what the orange color is, but I love it. Bernat blanket. So, last time I used all Bernat blanket. This time, as it's not focusing, I couldn't find my Bernat blanket black. It's in some bag somewhere. I only had a little bit left. I didn't want to open up a new skein, so I did the Premier yarn in the bag, held with the Dollar Tree yarn. So I hope it doesn't shed too much, but that's that. And Father Minion is looking at me because I said I'd be quick, and I came back. Okay, bye. Oh, hold on. I can't say bye to you unless I focus. Oh my gosh. There you go. It's not focusing because the lighting is really bad. We're losing light. Okay, bye. He keeps staring at me, so I gotta go. Hey, it's Laurel with the Dabbling Hook. How are you doing? It is, what's today? Today's Monday. It's the end of the day. It's post craft fair. Post my maudlin mood from the last clip. Things turned out better than I thought it would, so thought I'd come do a quick recap. I may have to cut this in a couple, well, it won't matter to you guys because it'll just look like a blip, but I have, and M2 is now the one yelling. I have some things to go take care of real quick, so you might see a blip. Anyway, What are we doing? Oh, and I'm blurry because that, you know, you're getting old when you forget to take the glasses off, right? Okay. Oh, hey, if you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you subscribe. If you don't, I hope you enjoy this episode. And for you OGs, I have nothing to drink today, so we are winging it. And I was gonna say hopefully this will be quick, but probably not. Anyway, craft fair. So I was moaning and groaning because the weather was absolutely horrible. I mean, the grayest of gray, like almost impending doom kind of weather. Maybe that was just my mood, but it was gray. There was going to be rain, and I was teetering on, do I go? Do I chance getting rained on and having things ruined? Will it be that bad? Because last year it only sprinkled a little, and then we had sun. This year, no sun, never came out at all. Even from the previous day, we had no sun on that Friday. Saturday was just as bad, and basically by the end of the day I was so exhausted because anxiety, just like stress, really does a number on you mentally and physically. And so I was just so anxious about whether or not it's going to rain, how hard it was going to rain, and at some point there was a severe storm warning, thunderstorm warning, so that just added to it. But for the most part, the rain held off. The fair started at 9. It went to 3:30. Up until 1:30ish, there were just like little tiny sprinkles on and off. And then around 1:30, 2 o'clock, was a good little bit of a rain. If I still have the picture, I'll put it where I got a little wet because I had partially put up one side. And then just to keep things airy and light, I didn't have two other sides up. And then after a while, I kind of partially put them up so it'll be easier for me to, you know, pull across and attach. Well, not so easy. When the rain started, looks like in earnest, I dashed to get the sides up. And of course, I got a little, not drenched, but wet enough that it was uncomfortable. And then it stopped for about a good maybe half hour, and I thought, oh great, you know, that's it. The sun kind of came out a little bit, didn't last. Then the rain started in earnest, and it still wasn't so bad because, you know, my sides were protected enough, but then the water started coming in on the ground. And because we're on the street, you know, the sidewalks are a little, or at the sides are a little angled, so it just started coming in. And I was still okay. I didn't care so much, but then I remembered that all my bags were under the table and all the water was coming in. So thankfully I have those IKEA bags, and the ones from Amazon, they're like that plasticky material with the zippers. So nothing really soaked through. I think it's because I got it off in time. I did have a couple of boxes that got wet. I'm hoping they dry out and are okay. But all in all, it turned out way better than my disaster mind thought it was going to be. Turned out way better than the first spring fair. Even though it's in the same town, it's almost as if a whole different group of people come to the fairs, because the people who came to the one in May, they shopped, but there was almost like a hesitation, I don't know, to them spending. But this one, people were open and friendly, and people shopped. And even when parents said no to kids, it wasn't in that like, ugh, I'm not gonna buy it, or it's too expensive kind of. It was just a lot of it was, no, you have your money, or make sure you walk around first because this is all you're getting. It was very reasonable kind of thing. So same town, seems like a whole different set of people show up. But anyway, after all of that, what sold? I highlighted some of my bestsellers. The bestseller were ducks. And I have a variety of ducks, but we'll talk about those. Ducks, I would have sold 11 of them, ended up being 10 because after someone bought one, she turned around and wanted to exchange it for something else, which was a higher price. And, you know, so they obviously paid the difference, but So I had to do a refund on that, and then, you know, charge. They refunded the duck for a cow, I think. Yes, for a cow. So there were 10 ducks, 9 dragons. Oh, the dragons. Highlight of the day. I'll get to that. Axolotls, I sold 9. There was another one. I thought there was another 9. Nope, it was those. That was 9. And let's see, possums, I sold 7, and turtles, I sold 7. So, let's talk about those that sold the most first, and then we'll go into the others. So ducks. I had and hopefully I will be able to find the pictures and post them. I had, did I sell 2? I sold 2, let's see, hold on. Yeah, I sold 2 good-sized ducks. They were mallards. Mallards always seem to do well for me. Whether it's the small ones or big ones, they sell well for me. So I had about a medium-ish size one that I had made I'd made the year before, and Minion one, like, wanted it right off the bat. You know, you can't say no to kids, especially when they like what you make. So I'd meant to make another one, and I never got around to it, but I did make another one. So that one sold. I hopefully will put the picture up. And then I had another bigger, slightly bigger one, and that's actually, it's the Rose and Lily duck that I just modified to be in mallard colors. And those sold. So those were 2 $20+ items. And then I had the 2 ducks and frog hats that I made that didn't even get looked at the last fair. Those 2 sold. And then I had a duck on a swing that sold. And I have a mini duck here, and I can't for the life of me remember what that looks like, for $8. So I'm wondering if I tagged something wrong as a duck. I don't remember having an $8 duck. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, but ducks were good. And then I had other ducks that I sold, 3 others that were, one was a pink, like, rubber ducky, which is about yay big. So I had 3 ducks that I sold for $18 a piece. Nope, make that 2, because that one of the ones is the one I exchanged for something else. And did I? No, I ended up selling it later on to somebody else. So 3 of them. Yeah. So ducks were good. Yeah, I had a $15 duck. The 2 ducks in the frog hats. Those were $10 a piece, and then I had one little duck from a YouTube tutorial that I did in white, but with a rainbow feet and the beak, and it looks so adorable. But I had it since the fall, I think, either spring last year or from early fall last year, and it just sold. So ducks were good. And mallards are always good. Okay, dragons. I'm looking at my clock because I have to go soon. But dragons. Just the big dragons that I made. The one by is this the one by Snugglebean? Is one, and then I forget who made the other one. I will put it on the screen. But one was the big duck I made. The big dragon I made, yay big dragon, the seriously long tail. That got a lot of attention, but this woman, in fact, she bought it for a gift for a little boy, and then she came back later and bought a couple other things as well. That was my most expensive item. $75 I charged for that. It had the red horns. I'll have to post a picture, but that was a full dragon, and I was so shocked when it sold because it's there hoping it sells, but more to bring like attention. And then the other one that sold was another big dragon, but this one is a snuggler. It's not stuffed, just the head is stuffed. That one was a $65 item, and a boy, he must have been like maybe 12, 13. He was there with either his grandparents and one of his parents, then they left, and then he came back on his own. So he must have sweet talked somebody. But he comes back and he says, I have 70 here. And so I know what the two dragons sold. They were both still there at the time. And he said, I have 70 here. So I'm like, so which one do you need? Because you don't have enough for this one. And then I showed him the other one, and that's the one, and he just handed me the money all, you know how the kids do, it's all like rolled up. And I always, whenever the kids do that, I always make sure, you know, I tell them, when you're buying something, make sure that your money is open and smoothed out, and you know exactly how much it's there, that you don't hand it over in like a crumpled mess. Because there are people who just won't tell you that if they have like an extra dollar or, you know, a couple bills stuck together. There are quite a few people who won't tell you, you know, that you've given too much. So I always like open it and explain to them. Don't let them rush you. Make sure you open it and you count what it is that you're handing over first. But so yeah, he bought it, and when he turned away, I just saw the smile on his face, and those two just absolutely made my day. So those were my two biggest ones. And then the other one that sold was one of the pattern tests I was doing for Chiwe of One Dog Wolf. I made two of them. One's a little bigger because I used the Big Twist plush yarn, but the first one I made was in Burnette Blanket, the softer version, so it came out a little smaller, and that one sold as well. So basically 3 big dragons sold, and I was just over the moon yesterday. Yeah. Just no complaints, no complaints. And that the same woman who bought the $75 dragon came back and bought, which one is it? She bought 2 other things, and I gave her a little discount because she was so lovely, and she came back and bought stuff that not like a $10 thing. She spent like another $60 on stuff. So it's a good day. It's a good day. What else sold? The Diddy decks. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had, hold on. Yep. I sold 4 Diddy decks. That's all I had there. And then, was it 4? Yeah, I had 4. I had 1 left over from the spring, and then I had made 3 more after that. Oh, sorry, from the spring. I had 1 left over from the first spring fair, and then I had made 3 more after that. And those all went. They were very popular, so I highly recommend that pattern. And that's the one that I mentioned that Crafty Kate is doing it in, what's it called? Premier Basics tie-dye, new colorways that the tie-dye is a new colorway line that they came out with, and that's the one that I am so close to hitting purchase. It's in my cart, and I'm just waiting to get over telling myself no more yarn, because I want those colorways, because she's doing or she did a Diddy decks in each of the 11 colorways, and I so want to do that as well because they are adorable and the colors are lovely and they sell. So there's that. And then I sold, what else did I sell? 2 other mini dragons. Those are from, one's an Instagram pattern and one is was a YouTube tutorial that I think it's a private video now, and she now sells the pattern on on Etsy. Not sure if it's on Ravelry, but yeah. Dragons were the spotlight because 1, I had big dragons on display, and 2, they were just so popular. So 9 dragons, that's awesome. All right, what else? Axolotls. Looking at the time. The mini axolotls that I had a bunch of them. They got a couple of looks at the first craft fair, and axolotls usually do pretty well for me. Some fairs a little more active than others, but I had 6 mini axolotls from Loops and Knots Crochet. She has a tutorial on her YouTube channel. She also has it as a free pattern on Instagram. She had done a tutorial like the year before, and she uploaded a tutorial on it because she said she's improved on some things and whatnot. So, but they were basically about yay long, really small ones that like fit in the palm of your hands. They're tiny, and they're great for the scraps of Bernat blanket yarn. And I had 6 of those, and all 6 of them. So no, one of them I had was a mix of Feels Like Bliss mixed with I think Loops and Threads Impeccable held together. But those all sold. And then I had a couple of regular size ones from Instagram Patterns. One of the Instagram patterns is a really small one that's like looks like palm size, but I just added stitches to it, and of course I used the bigger yarn, so it just made it bigger. So again, baby axolotls, very popular. And this little boy, I had one of them I made just slightly bigger, and those I sold for $8 because they're really small. They were quick to work up, and those are so small that you have to stitch on the eyes, so you didn't have to use safety eyes for those. But one of them I made slightly bigger because I used Dollar Tree yarn held double, and it was in purple, and he had it in his hand, and he was just like that with the goofiest grin on his face when he saw me looking at him, but he was just walking around like that. And it's just, those kinds of interactions make all the pains of the craft fair so worthwhile. I even like broke a nail, so it was all worth it, So and it's so made up for my gloomy mood in the previous clip. So those were the 9+ items sold. Oh, by the way, I ended up selling 104 individual items, but 77 transactions. Let's see. The 7 were possums, of course, always popular. And I had I didn't realize I had made so many of them, but I had quite a few, and a lot of them I made while I was, at the hospital with my dad. I think I made like 3 of them while we were in the emergency room a couple weeks ago back. But yeah, 7 possums. Some of them I made like really tiny, depends on the yarn that you use, and I sold those for, a couple of them were $8 ones, but I sell them usually between $12 and $15 depending on the yarn and the size it comes out of. So 7 of those. And then turtles, another always a good sell for me. Last year at that same fair I sold 14 turtles. This time I sold 7. Part of it is, I think if the weather was nicer, it would have been an even more spectacular sales type of day, but people still showed up. But what did I sell? The fruit turtles that I made, that size, did I sell one as a fruit? I don't think I sold any fruit ones, but I had another one the same size, and this girl, again, she couldn't make up her mind between which one. It was between the what do you call it, the dragon fruit, and then another one that was just, I used the Posh yarns in the really bright neon colors, and she couldn't make up her mind. So her mom took it, put it behind her back, and told her, to pick, and then she went with the one that she obviously picked. But it was such a good day, even though the weather was such crap. But yeah, I sold, how many? 3 regular size turtles, which I sell for $25, and 2 of the small ones that were $15 each, and then 2 other mini ones that are varying prices. So good times. All right, I'm gonna stop there and I'll be back. It's Laurel with the Dabbling Hook, and I'm back. It's the day after that last clip because my appointment took way longer than I thought it would. So it is freezing. Well, for me it's freezing. It's cold. It is 62 degrees, which if the sun was out, it would have been perfect. But we haven't had sun in, what's today? Tuesday? We haven't had sun in 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Wow. Already 5 days. We haven't had sun. I think it came out for maybe like an hour on Sunday or so. But yeah, by the end of the day it was raining again, so it's quite chilly. I've got, I think this is the first shawl, or one of the first shawls I ever made ages and ages ago. And it used to be kept at work for when those chilly days when the AC was kicked on high. It was in my desk, and during COVID, you know, when we had to go clean out our desk because we were home, it came home with me, and now we don't really have dedicated desks at work. So yeah, it's home. It sits at the back of my chair, and it is a wool blend yarn, and I don't remember. No, I got it at AC Moore, and I forget the name, but it was a wool blend, and it's very comfortable, and I want to make it again, but I'm gonna keep going because it's oh gosh, when did I make this? I made this, like I said, way pre-pandemic. Everything is either pre or post, so probably 2018, I'll have to go back. I think I have it in Ravelry to see. I'll put on the screen when I made it. But like I said, it's been at work for a long time. It is a half circle, and yeah. Anyway, I'm cold. I've got short sleeves on. I've got my Merry t-shirt on because, you know, it's always merry. Or we try to make it. I'm prattling. This is just a continuation of, and I have about a half hour. I'm stealing, I did a late lunch, so I'm stealing time. Finishing the craft fair wrap up. So where did I start? All right, I told you guys about my bestsellers. So I'll just go down the rest of them. And not if I remember, but if I have time when I'm editing to go get all the pictures and insert them, I will. If not, oh well. I sold an Emineko cat. It was I made 3. I made one in Hellspun, Claudia, and I made one in the Mystical, the skinny chenille yarn from Hirschner's, mixed with, was it just a regular worsted? Held with something, I forget what the other yarn was. So those 2 are big. And then I made a small one out of the Biddy Stripes, Red Heart Biddy Stripes, and that's the one that sold. It's really cute, and I want to make another one because I want to have one that size along with the others. So that sold. I sold 1 bee. I have bees that I made so long ago. And I did not make them all in the yellow and black color scheme. The one that sold, I think, was a white and brown, or it wasn't a yellow and black colorway, but it was a pretty good size one, about this big. And I've had those forever, and they're just in my inventory, and they are more like filler items in case, you know, if I sell a certain thing and I need to fill up space, that's what they are. But I don't go out of my way to make them. I did make some sitting ones. It was an Instagram pattern. I think I have 1 left of those, but out of the regular bullet size or shape ones, I think I have like 3 or 4 or so left. So no plans to make any more of those. Just trying to sell them out. I sold 2 capybaras, 2 of the mini ones. I still have the jumbo one that I made, and then I made 1, 2, 3, 4 different types. Yeah, from different tutorials and patterns. But yeah, I sold 2 of those. I sold 2 loaf cats. Those haven't been doing so hot, but I sold 2 of them. So not complaining there at all. Let's see, chickens. chickens I hadn't sold in quite a while, and I sold 4 chickens. I sold one of the chicks and eggs. I thought I sold 2, but it says 1, so maybe I didn't write 1 down, because I know I had about 20 something extra dollars that I forgot to log a couple of items for sure. More people paid with cash this time than normally, so yep, when it gets a little busy, then I will take the money and move on to the next person, intending to go back and log it into my PayPal system, and I inevitably forget to do 1 or 2. But I had made a jumbo chicken. It was supposed to be my focal point among all my other remaining little chickens that I have, and that one sold. That was awesome, so I'm definitely going to make another one. That was just my own recipe based off of the Mabel chicken. Let's see, what else? And mine, I added wings to mine and a head to mine, so. And let's see, I sold 2 medium-sized chickens and 1, like I said, the 1 chicken and egg, so 5 in total, which is pretty cool. Nope, I can't count. 4 in total. Let's see, what else? I sold 2 cows. One was the little pink cow that I made, that I showed in one of the clips recently, and I think that was a tutorial from, oh, what is her name? Mad Cow? No, not Mad Cow. Anyway, this is a YouTube tutorial. That and one of the cows from the patterns from Toy Story AU that I made like a year, 2 years ago, at least a year ago, but it's just been in inventory. I sold 1 mini dino. Very disappointed. Not a lot of dinos sold, just 1. Quite surprising, but not the right audience, I guess. So that's that, and then I sold 2 elephants. So the elephant from Madeline Mako that I showed, the blue variegated yarn, that one sold, as well as a tiny elephant that I followed a YouTube tutorial for, because it was all done no-sew, but I found the tutorial to be a little too involved for such a little thing, so I wasn't planning on making it again, but never say never, because I may give it another shot just to see if it really is just too involved, or if it was just me making it for the first time, so we'll see. I definitely plan on making another of the Madeline Mako elephant. Is that the one that sold? Yeah, that's the one that sold, because the other elephant I made, it was just a lovey that I had shown in the first clip. Let's see, one of the little fish that I made, a few videos back I showed you, I found this pattern. It's great for scrap yarn, and I made, I think, like 10 of them. I think 10 of them. Maybe it was 6. I made quite a few of them, and I sold 1. So I made another fox. I think I showed it in a previous clip, but the fox by, I think I did show it, because I came back and showed it when I finished, maybe. But it is by Annie Caraway Art. She has a tutorial for it on YouTube. I made another one, and it also sold. So I have some, my Mary Maxim yarn order that I placed a week and a half ago came. No, it came last week. I just hadn't opened it. I think I picked it up on Friday. I hadn't opened it yet. And I have 2 orange skeins in there, terracotta. The one I used before was orange leaf. They're both burlap blanket, but orange leaf is what I made the foxes out of. The yarn that came from Mary Maxim is terracotta. And I think I got that for like $6 or something on sale, plus discount coupon. Let's see. The Little Mini Frogs by, Jesus, why do I not know her name? Oh, an Instagram pattern. The tiny little mini frog, very popular. I make it out of the Posh, and the brighter the colors, everyone gravitates to the green ones, especially the main green, which is bok choy, I think, and even the other neon-y greens, but all the colors sold that I had. So I sold 6 of them. I don't remember how many I had in total, but 6 was a lot. I think that's almost all of them. I might have had 9, but I sold 6. I sold the second of my 2 jellyfish. The first one sold at the first spring craft fair, and the second one sold. Now, the jumping spiders I showed in the first clip, I sold one of those. I almost sold 2 of them, but somebody had it and then they changed their mind and bought something else. The Junimos, the little Stardew Valley little apple thing with hands. The first craft fair, no attention. And again, I think a lot of the first craft fair issues were because I wasn't in my usual spot where people were. But I sold 2 of them. So I had 3 and I sold 2. All right. 1 ladybug. These are all from Jade patterns, or it's an all from Jade pattern, and I made I think 5 or 6 of them, and I sold 1 finally. Those strawberries that I made, I had the jumbo one, the medium sized one, and the little one that's the keychain. They're all gone. They were a big hit, actually. So I will most likely try to do a couple more. I don't have any other craft fairs for the spring or summer. I am looking to try to find at least 1 more, but you know, I'm not pressing myself to do it, but it would be nice to have at least 1 more just to get rid of some of the stuff. But yeah, so all the 3 strawberries are sold, and phone's ringing, and that's spammers. I don't know why we still have our home phones a landline. It's not really a landline. It's all digital now anyway, so if the power ever went off, the backup battery lasts about 8 hours if it's fully charged, and then it bumps to my cell phone as the backup. So I don't know why, because the only people who call us are spammers, telemarketers, but we still have it. Anyway, I digress. What was I saying? Strawberries. I'm gonna try to make a couple more strawberries. I sold 2 of the bananas from, it's the not a YouTube, it's an Instagram pattern. It's a banana with arms and legs. I sold 2 of those. All of my donuts and my ice cream cones sold. The donuts are, one pattern was by Rose and Lily. I forget who the other person was. 1 Cent Crochet? Not sure. But those sold. As well as the ice cream cones, which were my own pattern. So 3 sold there, 1 sold at the other spring craft fair, and then 2 others that I'd made, Minion 1 and 3 have those. So out of the 6 that I made, they're all gone. Let's see. I sold 1 of the caterpillars. It's the All From Jade caterpillar, I'm pretty sure it was. I can't remember. I made 2 that were all from Jade, and then 1 was just from another tutorial on YouTube. I don't remember which one sold, but I sold a caterpillar. My 2 hanging plants sold, which was cool. One lady bought it because she has a coworker who loves succulents, and she thought it would be a perfect gift. Always warms my heart. And then somebody else came by. I guess she had come by originally, and then when she came back later, she was bummed that it had sold. It was a blue pot with pink succulents. I forget. It was a colorful one, but both my hanging plants sold. I sold 1 of the squirrels. Oh, what? I never remember her name. Brain. Anyway, I sold 1 of the squirrels. I forget which one. Was it the brown one? Might have been. I had 3. I had the black and white marled one, the chocolatey brown that I love, and then a sand color one in Bernat Blanket. The other two were the Dollar Tree yarns, Just Chenille doubled. So I'll definitely be making a couple more to have in stock. Totoro. I made a little Totoro from a pattern from Instagram, and that sold. And the girl who bought it was totally into Totoro, so it went to the perfect person. Let's see. Watch my time. Let's see. Octos. I mentioned in the last clip that I hadn't really been making octos because they go up and down, and lately they've been down as far as sales. I think people are just octoed out, you know. But I think mine is still a bit different in that you mainly see the octos with the tentacles, the long tentacles, and mine just has the little bobble ones. But the one that I made, that I showed, I think in the first clip of the last makes that I did, it was the Dollar Tree yarn that I also used for the jumping spider. That's the jumping spider that sold. It's the pink, the two pinks combined that I said I didn't like how they worked up. Those two things sold. And it was a boy. He must have been around 12, 13, between somewhere in that age group, but he bought it for his sister, which was so sweet. There's still sweet kids around. Oh, and the other thing, Father Minion said that, what was that him who said it? Yeah, that it's nice that boys liked my stuff, because there were a lot of boys that came in my booth that really liked the toys. And one little boy said, he told me that I did a fabulous job when he asked, like, did you make all these? And I said, yep, I make them all. And he said that they were fabulous. So it was such a good day. No sun, but it was a good day. I had sunshine in other ways, right? Let's see, how much longer do I have? Okay, before it shuts off on me. So the owls that I made from, it's a pattern from that I bought off Etsy. It is, man, my brain is not picking up on any of, anyway, it's very, I think it's like $1 pattern that I bought. What is her name? Anyway, I made quite a few, and the last time I made it, I was trying to use up some Peep Squick like yarn that came in like a bag with a bunch of them, and I've had it for a while and I didn't know what to make with it, and so I made a bunch of owls mixed with other yarns. But that same pattern I used faux fur yarns, because I had a bit of faux fur yarn that I just wanted to use up, and I made one out of it, and I priced it a little higher because it's a faux fur yarn and it's a pain to work with. And this little girl had it, and she kept looking at all the other things, and her mom kept asking her if she was sure, but she kept going back to it, and it went with her. So pickles, I sold 2 pickles. One lady was just so like thrilled to see them. She was a teacher, and she said that she picked the one where it had kind of like a scowly mean face, and she says she'll use it to let the kids know when they've upset her in the class. So you gotta love the craft fairs. You just never know what, you know, who you're gonna meet, you know, what people are gonna say. There was, I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous clip, but there were a lot of people that talked crochet. Not usually you get, oh, my grandmother used to do this, oh, I learned, or my grandmother tried to teach me when I was blah blah blah. But these are people who are actually doing it and want to learn. Some of them are frustrated, and I always remind them to, like, you know, don't give up, give it a rest if it's not working, and go back to it. But these 2 girls came and they were learning, and one of them showed me a picture of her work. You know, the usual, you start off here and then it like ends here. So I was explaining to her how she is missing her stitches on the end, and I gave her a bunch of stitch markers that I always carry around with her, and did little demonstrations of what she needs to look for. It's cool. People ask me a lot if I give lessons, and I told them if I didn't have a full-time job, I would think about it, but yeah, there's no way. So yeah, almost done. So I lied, I sold 3 pickles, so that means I only have 1 left in stash. I sold my other big snake, the one that I made. This one was a, and another boy, again, bought it. But this is the one I used Bernat blanket scraps to make, so that one sold. Because the other one sold at the other spring craft fair. I sold what I call a splooting dog. It was a tutorial on YouTube. I found the pattern on Pinterest, and it led to the YouTube tutorial. I forget what the channel name is. I've shown all these before, and I posted them in previous videos. I will try to do a list of all of these things, but it'll take a while because it's quite a bunch of things, so there may or may not be a link of all this stuff. And if I don't do the link, I will try to at least put the name of the YouTube channel or pattern name on the screen. Let's see. Yeah, only one dog. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have about 6 different dogs made and 1 sold. I sold 1 squid, so I have 1 left in stash. I sold 4 mini stingrays, the Chez du Couton, the Instagram one, the little circular one. I sold 4 of those. The pink unicorn that went with, it was the mod for the Madeleine Mako elephant. That unicorn sold. And then last, I sold 3 of the small whales. I don't remember if that was, what do you call it? All from Jade's pattern, or I know I had done somebody else's pattern, but they're all very similar. So, but 3 small whales. So, like I said, 104 items sold, 77 transactions. Probably 78, 79 because there were a couple of things I obviously did not record because I had a little extra cash when I tallied everything up. So, all in all, an excellent day, especially given the weather and especially given my bad mood the day before. So rain just stopped a little while ago, and again, 0 sun. It's quite bright and it's blowing out here. It's not as bright as it's showing on camera, but yeah. And I've warmed up. Not quite, it's still a little chill in the air, but anyway, that is it for this video, I'm sure. I did start a, I'm still working on my summer hop project. I actually don't know if I'll finish that in time because the vest that I made for the spring hop last year was the neon green with pink trim. My niece is like in love with it. Whenever I wear it, she's like, take that off, and she puts it on and she just goes all around in it. So she wants one. So that may actually become my summer project because it's smaller. And so sneak peek again, this is what I'm using for hers because she wanted the pink and green again, but I don't have enough of those yarns. So, but I do have this, and this is the Sweet Rolls Vivid. I actually had to put in an order from Hirschner's with no shipping coupon because I almost never shop with them without some kind of coupon. No coupons, but I spent enough. No, I ordered from Premier. Of course, it shut off on me. I ordered from Premier because the Vivid is only, is it only available on Premier? No, it's available at Hirsch's as well, but I ordered from Premier because, remember how I mentioned I was going to buy the basics tie-dye? I pushed the button and I bought all 11 colors, and 2 or 3 of them I bought 2 skeins of them. I just got 1 skein of each color, but a couple of them I bought 2 skeins because I thought they were pretty. So hopefully that comes soon. I think Premier is good about shipping. Hirsch's is the one that's takes a bit to ship, and almost every time I've ordered from them, it doesn't come complete. Something's always on back order. And Mary Maxim, I think they say that they don't ship until they have all the items, so they don't do partial shipment. I know I read that. I'm pretty sure it was them. So yeah, and Premier was pretty quick with their last time I ordered from them. So I ordered enough of these to make 2 because my other niece is she was there as well, and they are like 2 peas in a pod, and of course she's gonna want one as well. So yep, my summer project may become kid stuff instead. And while I was on 3 back-to-back meetings, and a lot of it was just listening to other people. So I pulled some yarn, 3 skeins of yarn, because I'm trying to use up some of the acrylic, and I'm using a 15mm or 17mm needle, I can't remember which, and I put 3 strands together, and I'm just doing a basic garter stitch. And I don't know if I'm going to make it into a scarf, or I'm going to stop and seam it together and make it to a cowl, and it's going to be garter and squishy. So, and it's 3 shades of like purple, pink and purple, that I don't know why I had them, but I did, so put them together. That's what's happening, and I have about 9 minutes before I have to do another call. So late lunch, goodbye, see you guys. Hey, how are you? It's Laurel with the Dabbling Hook. It is Saturday the 14th, and happy birthday to my 2 nieces. One was 2 days ago, and the other one's today. So, not that they're even gonna watch this, but I'll just put it out there in the universe. What are we doing? Wrap up of this video, I guess. I wasn't going to do one, but I was gonna say I had a lazy day or a sleep in, but all my weekends are turning into that now because the week is usually ridiculous. So weekends are mine for the most part. But I have errands to go run. It's about 12:30, and I know I won't have time later. So, and if I want to edit this video, all the stuff you don't need to know. But anyway, just wrapping up the last few things this week. I worked on the vest for my grandniece. I can't even believe that's a thing. Me. I don't feel that old. But I am not going to show it now because it most likely will end up being my summer hop project, because the one that I'm working on for me, it's taking longer than it should. And plus I stopped to work on hers, and I just got notification that the yarn I ordered to work on my other niece's, her vest, because they're 2 peas in a pod, and of course you make something for one, you got to do for the other. I just got notification that it was delivered to my P.O. box, but I'm going to chance it and go see if it's there, which is why I need to hurry up and do this. But most likely it won't be until Monday, because it gets delivered to the post office and then they have to get it to my P.O. box, and of course the battery's flashing, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm so glad I now have extra batteries, because you know, I think it was last year where I took my camera with me on vacation, couldn't find the batteries later on, and I had to buy another 2 packs. So now I have extra batteries because I never remember to charge them. Anyway, all this to say, where was I? Yarn. I'm gonna go pick up the yarn, or hopefully it's there, or I have notification in my P.O. box, so I can start on hers. And since the hop is due at the end of next week, holy cow. Okay, so it'll either just be hers, or if I can rush through the other one, I can get that done as well, and there'll be 2 to show you, but I very much doubt I will get mine done. But I will talk about it because it's a repeat project. So anyway, what have I been working on? Because I'm working with blanket yarn type, or just extra thick yarn now for my amigurumis, there's a lot of regular acrylic yarn that I have that I need to work through. So I looked over, no, I was looking for something, I don't know what, but I had 3 skeins of yarn, and sorry if I'm bouncing because I'm touching the table. I had 3 skeins of yarn. 2 of them were Loops and Threads Soft Classic, which is not that soft, or at least the old version wasn't. And then I had 1 skein of, I think it was a Big Twist yarn, but They were all like pinks and purples. You know, if you put them in order, it could be like an ombre, but I held them together, and I'm finding a lot of the time now, I don't like the marled look of yarns together. Not so much, unless they really, really go together nicely. But anyway, I took those 3 skeins because they've just been sitting there, and I decided to just knit them together. And I was going to just knit a long scarf, but then I get easily bored. It was just going to be garter stitch, nice and squishy, and I've been working on it. I have this ginormous pair of knitting needle circulars that I bought ages ago. Remember when Christy, what was her last name? Oh, she used to have a YouTube thing, and then there was some debacle and she left. Anyway, or she had a YouTube channel, she had Instagram. I don't know if she's still doing it, but anyway, she had this knitter on, and I think he's Canadian. Yes, he was Canadian. And I don't remember his name, but he had these ginormous knitting needles that they're called big sticks, and I ended up buying them. And I thought, oh, that would be great to practice using all of the yarns. This was years ago, and it's very difficult to use because the cord is a really big, thick plastic tubing, so it makes it difficult. Hang on. So much for a wrap-up, huh? Because this is turning into full length. I bought it, 1, to support him because he was a black knitter, and 2, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like I said, it's really big, thick tubing. So it's a 38 millimeter knitting needles. They're huge. It's like a rolling pin. Look at that. It is ridiculous. So if I can find and remember his name, I honestly can't. But it says big sticks, and it has the Canadian flag on there. Miss Canadian Crocheter, if you see this. Sorry, crocheter, because that's what my brother and Father Minion calls it, crocheting. So yeah, big, in the tube. It's like industrial kind of tubing. So it makes it very difficult to move around and for the yarn to move around it. So I used it once, it's just been there, and I was going to use it, but it would have been too big for just 3 strands of yarn. I may still give it a try. So, noise putting it down, and it's gonna fall. Yeah, it's cumbersome. You know, a lot of people have trouble using just, there it goes. Trouble using just regular, say, 9-10 millimeter, you know, needles or hooks, so that would be a challenge. But anyway, I think I used either a 12 or 15 millimeter needles. I didn't even look at it. I just screwed it on and started working. But I started just doing, and you can see the colors. It's a light pink, mauve-y color, and then a purple color. Or would that be lavender? I think of that as mauve. But there are 3 colorways in here. So yeah. So I was just knitting. I was knitting through the back loop on the last stitch of every round. Because my last stitch tends to be loose and untidy, and it helps a little. And then I got bored, so I decided to stop, and I seamed it right here. It's barely visible because I used a 3 needle bind off. Actually, I used a crochet hook to do the 3 needle bind off. It does leave a bit of a ridge. So it's just now a very squishy, cozy, floppy cowl. I may do that again with some other colors just to see how far I get for fall winter inventory, but just a nice cowl. And then I had leftover yarns, of course, because they were 3 full skeins. So I've been seeing a lot of bags again on in my feed or recommendations. And I used to make bags a lot, and then I found Bag O Day. That's how I first found her eons ago, when she still had just like 11,000 so subscribers. That's when I found her. and she was making bags all the time. She used to go thrifting for bag handles and things like that. And then I made a few bags then, but then I kind of stopped. I would make like baskets out of scrap yarns and things like that, but I didn't make bags a lot. But this style of bag has been popping up, and I think there's a YouTuber or a maker. I think his channel name is Loose Ends. He makes these bags with really chunky yarn, the t-shirt yarn, and he leaves the ends hanging loose, so loose ends. But it's picked up steam. I don't know if it's because of him or I think it's a they. So my apologies if I say that. So I decided to use that to make one. There's another style where you use 3 squares that are single crochet in the back loop only, and you fold them in a certain way and you make the bags. It's not anything new, but I think, you know, it's kind of has a resurgence, so people are making it now, and I'll show you. I started making this, but I made this one, and of course I didn't want to do loose ends, but I just added a tiny bit of tassel here and there. Looks a little spindly. I might add some more to that, but, and then I also did here. But basically it's a long rectangle, or you can go as wide as you want, or the starting chain determines how long or how vertically long the bag will be, and then horizontally long depends on how many rows you go. It's basically you can either do slip stitch and single crochet, or I did single crochet and half double crochets. You know, I needed to work up faster. And then there are different ways of seaming the sides of different things. I watched a few videos to see, because I was just going to do it on my own based on knowing what needed to be done, because I've done similar stuff in the past before, and I've seen videos in the past similar to this before, but I wanted to see if there's anything different that people are doing, and not really. Just people have a little bit of difference of how they do seam up the sides. I kind of just did my own thing. And the handle, you can make the handle as long or short as you want. This way hangs a little lower. Some people like to wear their bags with it way up to the armpits. I don't like that. So there it is. And I watched one person who was making it, and she said for photos and stuff, put stuff in it because it looks just flat and sad if not. So I have just a skein of yarn in there just to oomph it up a bit. But there's that, out of the same yarn. And then I still have a little bit left of all the skeins. So actually I have 2 of the skeins left because I started doing the squares to do the other version. I had this much of the light pink left. It's not a square, because to do it you fold it corner to corner, like angled, and it's supposed to meet, and mine doesn't, because basically you need to make a square, and I didn't have enough. So I'm hoping when I make the others, basically I'm still not going to have. These are the other 2 colors that I used. So this and that is what's in there, and I'm currently working on this one. This and this are both the Loops and Threads, I think the Soft Classic. I don't have the ball band anymore. This colorway, you know that different colorways can be a little thinner or thicker than the others. This one's thinner, this one's a little thicker. So we'll see. I'm gonna see how far I go to get a square out of this. It is the same length, same number of stitches. And then I'm pretty sure I will not have enough to make the same size in this. This is the Big Twist one, and it's thick too, but it's a little softer than these. So all this to say, I'm gonna make single crochet squares, and it does. It's like, it's a commitment because it takes forever, and in the back loop only, which slows me down. So yeah, there's that. I tend not to make back loop only stuff, even though I have 2 patterns with back loop only, especially single crochet, unless it's really needed. It really slows me down. So anyway, that's what's in progress with the rest of that yarn, and I'm gonna take it with me on my errand today because I may stop for lunch, a solo lunch. Do you guys do that? whenever I go somewhere, I have no problem going somewhere and sitting by myself and having lunch. It's completely a me time, but you didn't need to know that. Who knows? Okay, the last thing I have is, I mentioned before, like, it's the year of the dragons and everyone's got dragon patterns, and I love dragon patterns, and I'm here for it. So this video popped up of a tutorial for a toothless, and that was on my list to do because somebody had asked about it at one of the craft fairs, and I was holding off on buying yet another pattern because I have so many that I haven't even done yet. But free tutorial, and I took notes as I went along because if I start making the parts when I'm not near the computer, I can do it. But it is by shoot, hold on, Something in Wild. Hold on, my brain is not cooperating. Oh, okay, it's Willow and Wild is the YouTuber. It'll be linked below. What was I gonna say? Anyway, I followed along with her tutorial. I think it's a couple of weeks old or a month, I don't remember, but she did hers obviously in black, not the tutorial, but she showed one that she did, one in white and one in black, and the black one has the two colors. I totally didn't even remember that from watching the movie, the first movie. But a lot of people are also making the dragons in single colors to go with that book, Iron Flames, or whatever it's called. So I had yellow yarn sitting there, and she was also making hers in yellow, or the gold mystical yarn. So I followed along and I made the dragon. I love how she made her wings, and I'm gonna steal that. Well, sorry, not steal. I'm gonna borrow that idea for other dragons I made, because some of the other ones I made, I wasn't too thrilled with the wings, or yeah, I wasn't. So also the way she did her tail, completely no sew. She picked up stitches and did them on. So yet another thing you don't have to sew on, because you know some of us always sew things on crooked, but this was genius. I love it, and I'm going to use it because you can adjust the size of this. So thank you, Miss Willow and Wild. I absolutely love that. But the legs are very dangly, and it can sploot. I absolutely love it. I put my eyes a little too far away. I think it could have been like one stitch closer, but you know, not everything looks the same. They're the wings. She did say you can sew it a little more that way, so, but then that would leave it with less movability. But this way you can, you know, it's as if the wings are, this is kind of exactly what she did, and it totally made sense, because normally I would just sew it so it's kind of more rigid, but I kind of like that. So yeah, this is that. Oh, and she used, I forget what she called it, but she used basically on one side she used the crab stitch, and then she used the crab stitch. It's still the crab stitch, she called it something else, but it's the one where you twist the hook so it goes that way, because usually when you do the crab stitch, you know, you're going backwards that way, but the other way where you start to single crochet, you twist the hook and then you go that way. So these things, the lines on here would be symmetrical, one facing one way, one the other. But love it. Most of the pieces are sewn on. The body, the head and body through the tail, done in one piece. The tail fins, I guess, it's surfaced on. You attach and put it on. You do have to sew on the legs and the wings and the horns, the big horns. And then these little nubby horns, ears, those are just surfaced on really quickly. And then you have the side gills, those are surfaced on as well. So legs, wings, and horns you have to sew on. Everything else is either it's one piece for the body, or you attach and surface on. So not bad at all. And I am planning definitely on making a black version, but yeah, we shall see. Absolutely love it. And the tail she doesn't stuff, so it gives it a lot of mobility. Mobility is the word. I said movability, which I think is still accurate, but mobility. Look at that. I love it. I love the color. Ooh, this is one of the Joanne, the last two times I went, I got these for like $4 something. So yeah, so that is that. That's all I have. Bag and this, and I'm thinking definitely doing some more of these, using up the yarns that are just sitting there, and make these. So that is that wrap up for this video for sure. This time I am going to work on the rest of the yarn, see how far I get for that other style of bag, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Oh, and I'm sure I've said it in the previous clips, but thank you for visiting. I hope you subscribe, but if you don't, I hope you enjoy this clip, episode, all the shenanigans. And for you OGs, thanks for hanging in there. And I am shaking things, and I'm gonna go to the post office before it closes, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.